So was Tiffany Henyard illegally kept off the ballot for next year's election? Let's get into it.
We are continuing to follow the political turmoil in Thornton Township.
As we reported last night, Supervisor Tiffany Henyard lost her bid for re-election.
It didn't come without controversy. Now we are looking at what comes next. Nate Rogers joins us live now with the latest. Nate.
Yeah, that's right, Scott and Don. Good evening to the both of you. Attorneys representing Senator Napoleon Harris, who led yesterday's Democratic caucus in Thornton Township, say that Henyard did not have a full slate, including a certified assessor. They also say that, Henyard and her attorney tells us that she was specifically targeted by caucus rules.
Tiffany Henyard, as mayor, Tiffany Henyard, as supervisor, was specifically targeted by those rules.
Did someone email you? Did they talk to you about this process and what it would look like?
No one knew about any rule. It was even other individuals outside that were running by themselves. They didn't have no place.
Yeah. Tiffany Henyard and her attorney, Max Solomon, are referencing this document right here, page 5 of caucus rules.
Let's look at it real quick. Give you time to look at that. Candidates for township supervisor cannot already appear on the ballot for another office to be voted upon at the February 25th, 2025 consolidated primary election, or for another office to be voted upon at the April 1st, 2025 consolidated election. Are they talking about the supervisor and the mayor saying she can't be on the ballot as a mayor?
Saying that supervisor candidates cannot already appear on the ballot for another office. Henyard is currently running for re-election as Dalton's mayor. Solomon did say that they did not receive caucus rules until the day of. Harrison's attorney says they could have asked for rules earlier. Now, yesterday's caucus was slated to begin at 7 p.m., but Harrison supporters were pre-registered and allowed in earlier. The caucus lasted 7 minutes, with Harris being nominated as supervisor. We spoke to Harris's lawyer earlier, as well as a non-partial attorney, to break down caucus law. Listen in. When did people learn of the rules?
They could have asked for the rules because we posted a notice on the door of the Democrat Party headquarters, Senator Harris's headquarters, saying you can get the rules by emailing me. Members of his Democratic Executive Committee had the rules.
There's a requirement.
Okay, so let's try to break that down. Here's your problem. You got a corrupt mayor, corrupt supervisor who we've seen over the past few years has done some dog stuff to some of her, to constituents, to some of her fellow elected officials, trying to throw her weight around, show who's in power. She had the audacity to lock people out of their offices sometime, out of buildings. She has came late to meetings. She's had meetings and locked people out. Said some meetings were illegal, using money. What did they say? Like going on trips. Okay. So the township was $5 million, had a $5 million surplus when she got in the office. And then by the time this year hit, it's $3.5 million in a debt. Or it could be the other way around. But either way, the town is in debt. Okay. Once she got in the office. She tries to justify everything, say everything is a political witch hunt. She said the truth will come out and she's going to sue people and this, that, and the third. But nothing has came out in her favor. Here's the thing about when you do people wrong and you don't know how to play the game, it'll always come back and bite you in the rump. That lawyer just said that the rules and regulations and then the notice was placed outside the building or outside her office, the Democrat office where she works. Now, if she doesn't have, and I'm gonna tell you, and think about it, and I like to give personal examples because I want y'all who are watching and listening to think about personal examples in your life. If you work for a company, you get hired, they give you an employee handbook from the start. employee handbook and some of the most important things that you have to really think about or be cognizant of on your day-to-day work schedule is what time you can clock in, what time you need to clock out, clocking in and out for lunch breaks, how much you getting paid, how many hours you working, and what is required of your job. That's what you need to know every day. Like they also may have also an employee handbook, or they may even have a separate book that may have like policies and procedures on how to do your job or what is required for you to do your job on a daily basis. And in that book, and those policies and procedures can change monthly, weekly, daily, at the drop of a dime. Just depends on what happens. If anything happens and something needs to be changed. When it's changed, they'll have like a meeting, a governing body, then they'll put it out, and then they might send emails to everybody, or they might even post it on the wall. They do not have to verbally say anything to you. This goes back way back in history, before any kind of social media, before any kind of television, radio, telephones, internet, anything. We're talking about since the beginning that we can go back to the beginning of the country, even like British rule, when you had a town crier, right? Or they had like a big wall or bulletin board or whatever, where if something happened, the king or the government had to make an announcement or a change, you have a town crier that would say, that hear ye, y'all, for those of us who are old enough to have seen shows like that, shows with that with this stuff in it. Somebody would cry out, hear ye, and they would read what the king or the governor or whoever, some proclamation they made. Now, everybody can't be there, but you know that if anything is new, they're going to post it outside the courthouse or the government building or whatever. It's going to be posted there. So, which means once it's posted, it is law, and ignorance of the law is no excuse. So my point is, they did not have to say, Tiffany, there are some laws and rules and regulations that you need to read before we have this symposium or this quorum or putting people on the ballot. You need to go ahead and read them. They're not going to do that. We know what they'll do. They'll post it. They may send an email. They'll send an email out, like a mass email to everybody. They might put in a flyer, a bulletin board, a weekly mailer, something, but it'll be out there. It is your job, and this will be part of your employee handbook and things that you are required to do as an employee or as an elected official. You are required to read your emails, whatever form of communication that has been agreed upon as the form of communication for everybody in the company or in the elected officials. Whatever form of communication everybody agree upon, the higher ups agreed upon, that's what you got to go through. So if he said it was posted, just like it was posted to everybody else, that's her fault. Long story short, that's her fault.
In the election code that says people running for office have to have a complete slate in some instances. However, the federal court ruled in a case involving the Libertarian Party that that's too restrictive of a rule and we can't use it in Illinois.
And Bert Olson went on to say that Henyard used township buses illegally to support her at the caucus. We do know that, of course, this will be wrestled out in court, as Henyard says that she does plan to pursue legal action. She also plans to make an announcement tomorrow. That is the latest here downtown. Nate Rogers, Fox 32.
And also another story I saw, they said at the meeting, so what happened is, Tiffany Henyard and her people was outside waiting. They wouldn't let them in. Matter of fact, let's see if I can find it real quick. Let's see if this is it.
Thornton Township Supervisor Tiffany Henyard is fighting back after Tuesday's caucus booted her off the ballot.
She says the move was a clear act of voter suppression. WGN's Emmy Victor has the latest.
At an event today, Supervisor Henyard says she is not giving up. She says she's now suing her political rival for voter suppression.
I'm amazed that she still has followers, but I'm gonna get into why I think she still has people that got her back.
happened to us on December 3rd was short of fairness. We didn't have our opportunity to be
Well, I say
heard.
one of the reasons why, real quick. I think a lot of these people are probably getting paid by her. They probably have a job because of her. And if she gets kicked out, they know that whoever comes in is going to kick her. Well, she got to go, and they're probably going to put out everyone else who supported her to bring in their own people. So that's one reason, probably the main reason why she still has supporters.
Tiffany Henyard, addressing her supporters for the first time since learning she will not be on the ballot in Thornton Township next year. She told me she does not accept Tuesday's caucus's results.
On December 3rd, 2024, your right to vote was hijacked by your committeeman, Senator Napoleon Harris.
Henyard, who currently serves as town supervisor, ran for re-election and lost to her rival, Napoleon Harris. Instead of a primary election, Thornton Township's Democrats held a caucus to vote for their party's candidate for supervisor. Henyard
Same
says
thing that they should have done with when Joe Biden stepped down, said he wasn't going to run for president. He should have had a caucus.
most of her supporters weren't allowed in the packed room. A room full of Harris's supporters from an event being held in the same building before the caucus started.
We were all standing out there. No one was going in. It was past 6:30. We still could not get in. 6:40, we was not going in.
While her constituents were outside freezing, she decided to freeze with them, not knowing that they were going to conclude the whole matter before we could get in the building.
One of the only ways Henyard can still be supervisor is if her name is written in on the ballot.
I guarantee you this. She's going to either make the ballot or we're going to write her in.
In recent months, Henyard has faced a number of accusations, including one for mishandling taxpayer money in Dalton, where she also serves as mayor. Her supporters say they know her character.
She helps the seniors and the disabled. I mean, she's just so kind. Are they scared of you? They must be scared of Tiffany because they won't even allow her to get on the ballot because they know ain't no stopping us now. She will win.
Henyard tells me she plans to file the lawsuit on Monday. Reporting in South Holland, Emmy Victor, WGN.
Tiffany Henyard supporters remind me of people who root for the dope dealer because he get the kids free haircuts, pass out turkeys and Christmas, and give out bikes and backpacks when school starts. But yet he's poisoning the community, and half the people in the neighborhood strung out, can't pay bills, but they see him as a leader. And when he gets caught, goes to jail, gets taken out by a rival, see T-shirts, murals on the wall, free so-and-so, free, free Pookie, free Ray Ray. That's who her supporters remind me of. Not taking into consideration, like I said, the harm he's causing to the community as a whole. Question I have is, even if Tiffany Henyard, I'm gonna play the devil's advocate real quick. Even if Tiffany Henyard does not get on the ballot and her opponent gets on, I can't think of his name right now, but he's a senator and used to play in the NFL. Used to play in the NFL. Even if he gets on, Black Thornton Township Dalton citizens, can you trust him to do better than what she did? Now, I know that she was making hella money in her position. Somehow made it to where whoever comes after her can't make even 10% of what she's making now, or barely 10% of what she's making now. And so that kind of plays in his favor because they say that he's worth like about $5 million based on like businesses and in assets. So the money wouldn't be the issue. But what I'm asking is, can you trust him? Because if they did have a meeting that only lasted a few minutes, without allowing her and her supporters to come in to nominate her to be on the ballot. They tried to hurry up and have a meeting and put his name on the ballot and end the meeting so that way she can't be on it and everybody's cheering. Isn't that the kettle calling the pot, calling the pitcher black? Right? Ain't they like, aren't y'all doing this pretty much the same things that's underhanded that you are accusing her of doing? You see, you can't trust people like that. And then again, why do you have to stay with the Democratic Party? See, this shows me right there that people are not, again, vetting and researching the candidates, because there may be an independent candidate who's better qualified, who could better suit the people than Tiffany Henyard, than the brother that's running against her in the Democratic primary, or anybody. It could be better candidates out there, but Black Americans, for some reason, at 90-something% rate, are so stuck on the Democratic Party that again they don't think about policy. And what could mess around and happen is they could have done something. If Tiffany Henyard files this lawsuit and she wins it, and then she's able to be put on the ballot, now you don't waste the taxpayers' money, taxpayers' time. For what? Trying to do something underhanded. If she doesn't win, if y'all just let her get on the ballot, she shouldn't win, right? Because the majority of people don't like her. The problem is when people don't trust the process. And again, I come with like a personal example. When I worked at this clinic, there was a certain employee that most employees and most patients did not trust or did not want to be around. But this employee did some good work, but the employee also did things that was detrimental, that could be detrimental to patients' health and the sanity of the morality of the employees. So it's like, okay, we figured out what the process was. And so I'm trying to tell all the other employees, say, hey, let's just there's a process. It does not happen overnight for this person. If we can get rid of a certain person, there's a process. It's not gonna happen. Can't be mad about something they did today and get rid of them tomorrow. What's wrong with her microphone? And I'm looking at that thing like it's old and chewed up. My gosh, that come on now. Y'all could have done any better than that. But anyway, so like I said, there's a process you had to go through. And the process it's a long process. You might not like it, but the bottom line is everything got to be put on paper. Everything got to be documented. So when it comes to the end and you can finally say, hey, we're gonna have to let you go because of things you've done, blah, 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 then they can't fight that. And one of the main things I told the employees were, do not help me. Do not help the process. Just let it play out. Everything will be okay. I said I couldn't stress that enough. Messed around and somebody tried to help anyway. Thinking they caught this person doing something that wasn't right. Sad thing is, once the investigation was done, the person that was trying to throw the one person under the bus, who really thought it was the other person who was messing up, it was actually them. They were the one who was actually messing up, doing things not the right way, and they were the one who got let go. And because of the whole process, it wasn't just them that got let go. Somebody else got let go because they was doing something, had nothing to do something. It was something totally different, totally separate from this issue that they were doing. But because there was investigations and higher ups looking at all the details at this clinic, other person had to get let go too. And you know who didn't get let go? The person that everybody said that if they were gone, the clinic would run better. Because they were not patient and would not let the process play out. and it hurt them and it hurt everybody in the process. All you had to do was be patient. So what'll be funny is because her getting to become mayor was all about probably emotion. First black female supervisor, mayor in the Thornton Township. Black people want to see themselves in higher powers. Powers of position of authority. Don't care if they're good or bad. They just want to see them do it. Because first thing they're gonna say is, "Well, white folk do it. Why can't she do it?" Well, then here's where your problem gonna be. Because if they find out that the process, that what these folks did this week was wrong, and she gets on the ballot, do not be surprised if Tiffany Henyard gets reelected as supervisor and mayor in those in Thornton and Thornton Township and the city of Dothan, because you're going to have people, mainly probably young black single mother women, or just young black women, period, and those who support them going to say, "Oh, they tried to do a sister wrong." That's not gonna work. You know what we're gonna do? We're gonna vote her in and her supporters. And there were some dudes that were supporting her too already. So they're gonna be like, dude, you see how they try to do a sister? Try to, try to knock her down, this, that, and the third, and they the ones who doing wrong. That can happen. That can happen. Y'all probably gave this woman a lifeline and don't even realize it. And it's sad, but we'll see. We'll see in January and we'll see in April. But anyway, tell me what you think about this story. Leave your comments below. Share it with the world. Let's have an intelligent conversation around here. You know how we do. Hey, don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Those 4 things cost you maybe a couple minutes out your day, but it means the world to us here. If you would like to support financially, you can give super thanks, super chat, super stickers, or you can go to the description box below. There are links there you can click on to help support the channel. Don't forget to go to marlonmorale.com where you can get 10% off your first purchase of all our luxury items. You will not be disappointed. And if you want to take advantage of our sandalwood mini beard kit sale, click on the shop button below. The sandalwood beard kit has beard oil, beard balm, beard wash, and sandalwood is clinically proven to help stimulate hair follicle growth. So if you're trying to grow that beard to its full potential, why not use the best product on the market? With that being said, I'll leave you